I closed 130 transaction. It was like right around 25 million in production.
That's amazing. And my understanding is you did that as a solo agent by yourself. Is that correct?
So my first year on my own was like first full year was 2019. The first 3 months transitioning, branding, you're starting all over, you're building that foundation. They're around 60 or 65 transactions my first year. And that was around 10 million, if I'm not wrong, in production. And which was a lot better than I even thought I would do being my first year on my own, like solo agent, not with a team and referrals and your book of business, But I was prospecting on the phone like 7 days a week. That's how I got there. Social media, I was all over social media. You couldn't get on social media without seeing my face. You went to stories, you see me. You went to Snapchat, you see me. You see me on Instagram, you see me on LinkedIn. Oh my God, everywhere I go, oh, you're everywhere. Yeah, well, that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Insight in mind. And so then my second year, I doubled, or more than doubled, my production in units. I'm like, holy, wow. I didn't even, and that was like with only prospecting half the year, not the whole year.
Mastermind Agent is proud to present Success Calls. Top real estate agents from across North America reveal their success secrets, strategies, and systems in up-close and personal interviews. You can find all the calls at www.mastermindagent.com.
Hi, I'm Mike Cerrone with Mastermind Agent, and welcome to Success Calls. This month's top agent is Abdallah with eXp Realty in Dearborn, Michigan. Welcome to the call, Al.
Hey, thank you very much, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Hey, Al, it's great to have you here. I'm real excited to talk to you today. I know you have a lot of passion and excitement. This is going to be such a fun call. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Before we talk about what you're doing today, let's go back for a minute and talk about what you did before you got into real estate.
So a lot of people don't know this. I was a professional drummer and a restaurant entrepreneur. My parents were in the restaurant business, and I got in when I was like 8 years old and helped them out. I was the number one busboy, the number one vacuum guy, the number one dishwasher, and then worked my way up, into obviously cook, then manager, then ran the show and took over the whole restaurant. And I always knew I was going to get into real estate. I just didn't know when. And then at 5 years old, I had a passion for music. So I was always playing the percussion drums and drum set, doing back Middle Eastern different instruments, and joined band, the American band, like in third grade, all the way up to my senior year, and started playing professionally, started playing at weddings and parties and concerts. I was 13 years old, one of the youngest musicians to be on stage. So it's like, whose son is that on the stage? That's a drummer.
That's awesome. That is cool. So now it sounds like you had kind of a dual track then. You were doing the drums, you were working in the family restaurant, you were building yourself up. How long did you do that before you had transitioned into real estate? How old were you when you started to look at the real estate idea?
So as a kid growing up, everybody's paying attention in class. I was drawing houses and cars. And so since I was a kid, I've always had a passion for real estate for some real weird reason. Then in '89, my oldest brother went from a financial marketing degree in, sorry about the background noise. I got closings going on in my office. So if you hear any background noise, that's a good sign. That means we're a busy office and doing a lot of stuff. But anyways, so my brother went from a finance marketing degree in the University of Michigan, right there, okay, to helping my parents with the real estate transaction on their house. And my dad had a bad taste of real estate agents because the first agent did us wrong. The second agent did it even worse. So my dad just had this really bad image of realtor. So my brother hopped in, translating and everything else, and told my dad, Dad, 4 years of University of Michigan finance degree, marketing degree, 4.0 student. I think I want to be a realtor.
Right.
My oldest brother. And my dad said, we're Lebanese. And he said, wait. If you become a realtor, you are not my son. I spent all that money and time, energy into you to get you here and there and everything else in college. You studied your ass off. Should I say that? Sorry.
That's fine. Yeah.
Got your butt off. To become one of those two guys that did us wrong? No. Well, he goes, Dad, that's why I need to get in, because we're an honest, ethical family. The real estate industry needs somebody like that, because we're very straight black and white people. And sure enough, he got in and did very well his first year, second year, third year, and took off. And for me, I was watching him grow, and I just knew while I was on tour traveling around the world, right out of high school at 17, which is when I started going professionally and traveling internationally, I just knew that was going to be my world, my life.
How much older is your older brother?
I'm 46. He's 53, 54, I think, like 8 or 9 years older than me.
Sure.
When you get older, you start to forget, the numbers.
You're catching up.
Yeah.
So you're on tour, you're doing your drumming, but you're seeing what your brother's doing and how he's had success. Did you get into real estate part-time, full-time? Was it on your own? Was it with him? How did you transition into real estate?
First, a quick word from our sponsor, Realty TV, Real Estate Agent Lead Generation Television. Need more referrals? Get a free script and simple 3-part plan used by a top agent to receive and close 74 referral transactions in 1 year. Just go to freereferralscript.com. That's freereferralscript.com. Now, back to the show.
So between running the restaurant, going to school, Friday, Saturday, Sunday gigs and weddings and parties and concerts, to then when I got out of high school, I went straight into international traveling around the world. Then I traveled so much, Mike, believe it or not, at 18 and 19 and 17, all these ages, traveling around the world with 30, 40, 50-year-olds is a lot of fun. And you're getting paid, 5-star hotel, first class airfare. But it got to a point where I was getting overwhelmed with just traveling and gigs and parties. And then in the mid 90s, I was starting to okay, I need to come back home and just settle down. And I was working in the restaurant, running that, and working after 4 o'clock with my brother in real estate part-time. So it was a part-time here in the mid 90s and part-time restaurant and part-time school. And drumming. It was just a bunch of everything.
And how long did you do that where you were doing everything before you went full-time real estate?
99, I went full-time.
Okay, so
99,
3, 4, 5 years you were doing this combination thing, and then you went into it. Why did you go full-time into real estate? What was the transition? Were you trying to hit a certain income, or did you wait? Did something happen? What made you take that leap?
So for the record, I'm very transparent, open book. I'm not very formal. I'm very, behind the suit and tie is a street guy. Okay. Look, party hard when I was single. And it was being a young teenager, traveling different countries, restaurant business. I had jet skis, I had boats, I had the convertibles, I had everything. Most kids at my age would love to have, but I worked my butt off for it. So it wasn't just hand-me-downs and give. And it just got to a point where, okay, at 1999, I got fully licensed, and I don't know how old I was, but I was mid-20s maybe. And it just, by the time I turned 25, Mike, I was 55. At 17, traveling around the world, those young, I don't compare myself to those Justin Biebers or whatever, those young pop stars that started at a young age. That was me. I was that badass drummer on stage, traveling around the world that everybody in our community knew. And every big superstar Lebanese singer around the world wanted me, because I grew up learning the American funk, rock, jazz, marching band music here in the US, and I mixed that technique with Middle Eastern. So the combination of both made me very unique and very different and very, very high demand drummer.
Who are some of the biggest bands that you worked with, or singers or performers that people might recognize?
If they're in the Arabic world, if they're Middle Eastern, my first one I started with is Walid Tawfiq. Wali Tawfiq is the Michael Jackson of the Middle East at the time, in the beginning, early 90s, 80s and whatnot. Asa Hallani, Faris Karam, Najwa Karam, George Rassouf, Wael Kfoud. I can go on. And every superstar singer that's like known started requesting me to travel with them. And I became like that it guy. It was cool, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I bet it was.
I do.
But it ran its course and you decided to settle down. You got into real estate. Let's move into the real estate now. When you decide to go full-time, well, actually, let me go into that part-time still, because there are people listening might be part-time in real estate. What were you doing that part-time real estate? What exactly were you doing? Were you making calls for your brother? Were you helping him with showings? Were you just doing work? What were you doing?
I wish that was my job. My first day on the job was pick up a basketball game from Toys R Us for his son. Go wash his car at the car wash.
You were the gopher.
Certificate of occupancy. I'm a gopher. Put the lockbox on. The one thing I was really good at that he taught me is door knocking. My job was for all the expired listings that you do not get. I'm sorry, for all the expired listings that he did not have the phone numbers for, or the phone numbers were disconnected. My job was to door knock the homeowner, and it'd be like in neighborhood by neighborhood. Okay, this day I'm doing this neighborhood, this day I'm doing that neighborhood. And they would open the door and I'd say, hello, my name is Al. I'm with the Dave Abdallah team, which is my brother. Okay. And Dave is trying to get a hold of you. And unfortunately, the number we have is disconnected. What number should he call you at? They're like, well, what does he need? Well, I have no idea. It's just something about your house, got some important information. And, they were getting called by other realtors, but not the amount of calls they're getting now, because now there's all these dialings, which I'm on also. And, well, I don't really feel comfortable. Honestly, I'm not a realtor, so I really don't know. So I was kind of like, Mike, it was cool that it was his younger brother, not Dave, door knocking. I think they felt bad for him. Okay, just have him call me at, whatever number and whatever. Now, Dave has got a phone number that nobody else had. And Dave would call him, hey, I know you met my younger brother and blah, blah, blah. I just want to come by, take a look at your home. I know it came off the market and just want to see the script of, whatever. So I was really good at that. And for sale by owners, I'd door knock them. I'd tell them, my brother's trying to get a hold of you. Is this the best number to call you at? And I'd build a little report at the door. And then, or I'd send my brother the phone number and the picture of the house. And he would call them, because those buy owners were hard to get. Like there wasn't algorithm systems that we have now. So sorry, I'm just kind of talking a little fast just so I can give you guys as much content.
That's good. So you went out and you would find the contact information for FSBOs and expireds, help your brother build that database, and then he would prospect them. But you were seeing the back end of who.
I wasn't licensed at the time.
Right. But you were an unlicensed assistant helping him build up a database of these folks that he could prospect. And that probably gave you your chops, though, to go out there and meet people face to face and feel comfortable with that, because as we're going to get to, you continued to do that. I don't want to jump ahead, but that's coming. So let's move to where you got your license. Why?
So just go back to that, Mike. Sorry to cut you off.
Sure.
Like when I got my license, I was like, damn, he was making a lot of money. I was like, man, no wonder he was sending me all these properties. And then it motivated me.
Then the bells went off. He started to open the books to you a little bit so you could see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you got your license, and the year you got your license and you were starting to go full-time into this, were you working with your brother still? Did you branch off? What'd you do?
No, I was, so he had an assistant. He was doing 120 deals a year with one assistant, no buyer's agent. He was working 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. He didn't know his kids' ages, birthdays, or anything. When you're building something, you got to grind and you got to put in that effort. My family were very go-getter type A personality, like very driven to succeed, and nobody's going to get in our way. And that was his mentality, his DNA. Like that's my dad's DNA, my mom's DNA. My dad's more engineer type, success. My mom's more drill sergeant in your face. Like, get out of my way, I'm going to kick your ass type mentality, I got a 50-50 swing between my parents, both my parents. But yeah, so I hopped on as a buyer's agent. He was prospecting, getting all these listings, what I'm saying? And I was that buyer's agent that was getting all these calls it got to a point where I was getting all these calls that I just told my brother, I said, hey, time out, bro. I don't know Bob from Bill, from Mary, from Jackie. I got so many buyers I'm working with. I don't know who's who, what's what. I don't know who's the A buyer, B buyer, and C buyer. I said, yo, if we don't add on 3, not 1, 3 more buyers agents, I'm out. I can't take it no more. Like I was like morning till night, all these people calling me. Hey, can I see this house? Hey, you didn't call me about that house. I'm like, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'm your buyer. What do you mean? Oh, okay. That's called chaos. That's called unorganized business. So sometimes you just got to whoop and line things up and structure it. So then we added another assistant, another buyer's agent, and then boom, the team blew up.
So you were working as a buyer's agent that first year that you dove in and did that. How many transactions did you close with everything going insane, all these people running around? Give us some perspective. How many closings as a buyer?
I would say I was averaging probably about 50 deals or so a year. You know what I'm saying? The thing that people find very, very interesting about me, and you probably will too, Mike, I'm really not a numbers guy, and I'm really not this is my goal, this is my vision board, and this is my transaction count, this is my listing appointments, a data spreadsheet. I know it's probably the right or the wrong way, but that wrong way, if it's wrong, is working right for me, and if it's the right way, it may be the wrong way for somebody else. That's what's always worked for me.
Now, Al, have you ever taken the DISC personality profile, the DISC?
No, but I know what it is.
Yeah. And do you know what you are?
Oh, type A on top, straight to your point. I'm a driver expressive. So I don't think the DISC, there's the driver analytical expressive amiable personality styles, which I'm a big fan of. Okay.
Right.
Like learning the personality styles, tonality, mirror, mimic, and all that. And I'm a driver analytical, which means I say it like it is. I'm not afraid to tell you how you feel or how I feel. But at the same time, I like detail, and I like detail, I like structure. And I just, the analytical part of me doesn't work with analytical people with numbers and data and spreadsheets. I don't know what kind of analytical you want to call it, but I like detail, I like structure.
Okay, so you like logical flow, but the math part is not something that you ever got into. And you're amicable, you like to work with people. You're a hyper D, and you rotate to the I and the C, if people know the DISC.
There's one called the chameleon. There's one that's called the chameleon.
Yeah.
That's why
that's extremely rare. Yeah.
Whoever is in front of me. And right now, my analytical brain is driving me nuts because that stupid screen is not playing what I wanted it to play, but it's okay. So there's my analytical side.
Right. All right. So let's keep going. So you got into the industry full-time, buyer agent for your brother. You closing 50-some transactions a year. How long did you do that with him and the team as a buyer's agent? And did that morph or change into anything over the years? Did you ever go out on your own? Give us some of the feeling of the story.
So when we hired 3 more buyer's agents, the idea behind it is for me to transition to getting listings. So me and Dave were doing listings. 3 buyer's agents were handling the buyers. And I just became like 90% buyer listing agent. And, listings is the name of the game, list to last and become the employer instead of the employee. So for me, that was, I don't know what year that was, but like eventually when the buyer's agents were, flowing, now me and Dave were getting the listings and these 3 were getting the buyer sign calls. So that was pretty cool because then you have a life, And then I got to like doing about 100 deals a year, with him. And I capped, Mike. Like I got to a point where I reached the ceiling, you know what I'm saying? And he started to kind of like lay back a little bit, let me take over. So like the last 5 to 7 years, I was running the show over there, which is fine. I mean, he's taught me a lot. He's done a lot for me. And, I get it. You want to take some time and whatnot. That's great for you. And then 2.5 years ago, I've always had it in me to do something on my own, like maybe 10 years ago, but I didn't have the guts to do it. And my parents went nuts on me when I even talked about it. Like the fact and just the idea of me leaving my brother. my mom and my dad, my mom especially. She went drill sergeant on me, and she was like,
Loyalty.
Huh?
She was pushing the loyalty.
Oh, yeah. She went old school on me. I was shooting bricks. I was scared. Okay. But anyway, so then 2.5 years ago, I pulled the trigger. My good friend Mark Z is a longtime friend of mine. And when he and Jeff Glover got into the business, me and my brother used to help them. They'd ask me and my brother questions. We'd be at Mike Fury, events, and they'd have dinner together, brainstorm and all that. And they just took it to whole nother level. So, I've been a good friend of Mark Z and Jeff Glover for years. And, I can always reach out to Jeff or Mark, and, they'll give me their time, their energy, and their knowledge. And then the CXP thing came around.
Now you've been working that. Now tell me, you branched off on your own. You did it about 2.5 years ago. And
October 30 of 2018.
2018, October 30, 2018. And at that time, that must have been a little scary. You said you always had it in you, but you were nervous. People that are thinking about branching off on their own, they're listening to us and they're wondering, I'm thinking about it, but I don't know if I can do it. What gave you the courage to do it?
So it's hard to explain everything on camera, but the bottom line is, to cut to the chase, they say in EXP, once you see it, it's hard to unsee it. So I was literally looking at I was looking at every video, every YouTube. I was reading, I was dissecting the heck out of this company. And once I looked into it, I was like, it's virtually impossible to get out of it. My mind, my energy, my vision was just blew my mind. With all respect to all brokerages, but this brokerage, this company, this ideology behind it, it's like, if you don't see it, there's something wrong. Okay. And my brother just didn't see it. My brother doesn't like change. And I respect that. Not everybody likes change. Yellow Cab is not going to move to Uber. I get it. And I said, hey, you know what? I went to the convention. I said, I'm going to go to the convention in New Orleans. And I know all the conventions are all, Kool-Aid Mike, like everybody's drinking the Kool-Aid. I get it. I've been to Mike Ferry, Floyd Wickman. I've been to Century 21, who I was with for 22 years or whatever. And I get everybody's on that, Kool-Aid, drive. But I went over there and I said, I'm going to ask 100 agents. What company were you with? Why did you move from there? Why would you recommend EXP? What do you like or don't like about this company? Like the same 5 questions. And everybody answered the same exact way. Random. I don't know them. They don't know me. New, old, it didn't matter. Young, old, it didn't matter. They all answered the same way. Then the icing on the cake was Glenn Sanford was walking the hallway. And I said, hey, Glenn, you got a sec? He's like, sure. I'm like, I'm with Century 21. Why should I join EXP? He was like, oh, you're Century 21. How'd you get in? I'm like, it's a long story, but I'm in. I'm here. Okay. And he goes, here, sit down. Spent like 45 minutes to an hour with him. Doesn't know me. To me, that was like, that showed me what this company is really about. If the millionaire, CEO, founder of this company spends 45 minutes to an hour with me and everybody walking by at the hotel, like, who's Glenn Sanford? Like, who am I? Like, I'm just Al, who cares, Well, he's seen it differently. And ever since, I was like, I came back, that was the icing on the cake. But I had to give my brother, my family, my past brokerage, the fair opportunity to tell me why I should not go to EXP and what they are going to do that's better. That was my question to them. Why shouldn't I leave and what can you do better? There was no answer. So it was time to fly. It's time to leave the nest and fly. And you want to talk about a scary move? You want to talk about, whoa, I'm part of a team doing 400 deals, 80 million in production. to leaving everything and flying away by myself without a book of business, without anything. You want to talk about scary? But that's what lit fire under me. And that's what got me to where and to do what I did, because everybody was watching me, Mike. And guess what? Everybody thought was going to happen.
Thought you're going to burn out.
Well,
Yeah,
that's right. What do you think they thought was going to happen to Al?
but Al didn't think that. No, Al thought something
No.
different. Yeah.
You guys see my energy. Does it look like I'm the type that's going, oh, shit? No. Gary?
So Al, let's jump forward to last year. How many transactions did you close last year, and what was your sales volume?
I closed 130 transaction. It was like right around 25 million in production.
That's amazing. And my understanding is you did that as a solo agent by yourself. Is that correct?
So my first year on my own was like, first full year was 2019. You know, the first 3 months transitioning, branding, you know, you're starting all over, you know, you're building that foundation. They're on 60 or 65 transactions my first year. And that was around 10 million, if I'm not wrong, in production. And which was a lot better than I even thought I would do being my first year on my own, like solo agent, not with a team and referrals and your book of business, you know. But I was prospecting on the phone like 7 days a week. That's how I got there. Social media, I was all over social media. You couldn't get on social media without seeing my face. You went to stories, you see me. You went to Snapchat, you see me. You see me on Instagram, you see me on LinkedIn. Oh my God, everywhere I go, oh, you're everywhere. Yeah, well, that's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? Insight in mind.
And so
Then my second year, I doubled, well, more than doubled my production in units. I'm like, holy, wow. I didn't even, and that was like with only prospecting half the year, not the whole year. Because when I opened up my office May 7, which is Friday, May 7, 2021 is my 1 year anniversary. I was working out of my home office. And I used to think people that work out of their home office are losers. I used to think, yeah, he's working at home. I know, watching Oprah. I'm not stupid, bro. You know, like when I used to go to the Century 21 and say, yeah, I've been, you know, I don't come into the office because I work from home. I know. Yeah, you're working on your family room, watching Jerry Springer. You're not going to convince me you're working, okay? And that's how I used to see people that work from home. But not everybody's got my DNA, my drive, my hunger to actually have a home office and actually work from it. And that's what I was doing. When I left Century 21, I went from a brick and mortar building to a brick and mortar house. When they say you guys at EXP are not brick and mortar, well, is my house made out of cardboard? I mean, it's brick and mortar, isn't it? It just looks different, okay? But anyways, so I had to learn like real fast to generate business like as quick as possible. And what I was really good at is the phone. You know, I was really good at prospecting, handling objections. You know, that's what I was really good at. And I would 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. I was on the phones. Then 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. I was on appointments. And if I'm only on one appointment, two appointments, then I come back and finish, you know, return calls or whatever it may be.
Al, I want you to tell me that schedule again. Tell me that prospecting schedule. Did you say you were making calls from 7 to 1?
No, so 7 a.m. I would start my day in my t-shirt and sweats, which I've never done in my life. When I moved to my home office, that's the look you have, right?
Okay.
But 7:30 to about 10:30 for 3 hours straight, sometimes 11:30, 4 hours straight, I was calling expireds for sub-owners, unconditional withdrawals. And like 10:30, 11 or 11:30, I'll start returning calls, emails, the whole, admin stuff, because I didn't have an assistant, right? And then I'd go up and take a shower, put on my, uniform, and go on my appointments, whether it be listings or showings, whatever I had, closings. And then I'd come back home and in my suit and tie and continue to, call or return calls. Or my office is also my car is also my office. So, I've never got the radio on in my car. It's always, returning a call, email, or negotiating a deal. Because if I got a 10-minute drive or a 30-minute drive, it's productive. My time is productive all. There's no downtime except for maybe when I'm eating.
Thank you for walking us through your schedule and your typical day there. And then you got up last year to 130 closings by yourself. Did you have an assistant or anyone helping you? Any administrative assistants?
So my son, who's 19 now, Mark Z's assistant taught him how to upload and download SkySlope and MLS from day one when I became with EXP, and that was a big blessing because that took away a lot of the administrative stuff that I'm not good at. You know, I just had to handle the title or emails, or or let's just say administrative stuff that doesn't just takes a quick email or call. So that worked fine for me. But then it got to a point where, like, between uploading, he uploaded things, but I had to make them live on MLS. I'd work. So to go back to my schedule, until 12, and my lunch was not like a lunch hour like I used to have before. It was like, while I'm working, I'm like, okay, thank you. Dinner was like, I'll eat something quick and I'll come back. So when I come back to the house, I was at the time, I would finish my work and I would have a quick bite with my family. Then I'm right back at that home office. So the home office, when you do have a home office, it's really close to home. It's like 5 steps away from your kitchen, right? So it's very easy to walk back in there and like get comfortable just finishing work because you have it on your mind. So, but I was so busy doing from prospecting and not having an assistant or a buyer's agent that, I was like 90% listings, 10% buyers, but I was just from 7 a.m. to like 1 a.m. was my day to build this where I got it to. So I don't recommend anybody doing that. But when you want to build a brand, build a business, and build a foundation for what I'm doing now, yeah, you got to put in the time, effort, energy, and money, So I was doing everything, social media. I put billboards, I put signs. I door knocked, I prospected. You named it, I did it.
Let's jump into, I asked you for some information before we got together, and I believe that expired. So let's get into lead generation and some of the things you're doing there. One of your big areas of leads and listings and therefore closings is expired listings. So I'd like to dive into that for a few minutes because people are listening. They want to know, first of all, in this super hot market, are there any expired listings?
Now, a quick word from our sponsor, Realty TV, real estate agent lead generation television, where top agents reveal exactly how they create consistent flows of home buyer and home seller leads into their practices every month. Need more leads? Hit the pause button right now. Open Google and search Realty TV. That's REALG.TV. Now, back to the show.
Yeah, there is always going to be in this super hot market, probably, I do about an hour radius. There's going to be probably, I would say 5 to 8, maybe a day, between expires and unconditional withdrawals. You know what I'm saying? And there's old ones too from a year ago that, change your mind about selling. That I call, they're supposed to call. So don't just look at the new one. Call the old ones. The old ones are even easier. Nobody's calling them. What do you want to call the new ones that everybody's calling? You're the 20th guy to call me. Well, I'm usually not the 20th guy. I'm usually the first guy.
How are you getting the information to find the expired and then all their contact information? Are you researching that yourself or do you use a service?
I use Vulcan 7. And, I used to use Mojo, RedX, Land Voice, but, Vulcan 7 has been the most accurate with their phone number quality. Vulcan 7, Mojo is a triple dialer. So some people grab Mojo leads, dump them into Mojo, or Vulcan leads, dump them into Mojo, and it triple dials. I tried the triple dialing thing. For me, I got to hear a phone ring while it's ringing. I'm pulling up the property and I'm checking where it's at, where its location. Because most of these properties, I don't know where they're at, who they are, what neighborhoods. I don't know every neighborhood, an hour away, 45 minutes away. Shoot, I just know my press it in the navigation, it gets me there, And so I look at the area. I do like a street view. I do a aerial view. I pull up the history, how long it's been on the market, when it came off the market. I look at if it was conditionally withdrawn 6 months ago, but it officially expired now. So now the seller thinks it's been off the market for 6 months, but it just now came up as a expired. So, you got to know how to talk and use that. So for me, I do a lot of research that way. That when they answer, I'm like, yeah, Mike, you're right by, Smith Park, right? Oh, yeah, yeah. You got the red awnings and the yellow shutters. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm just looking at a picture. I look like I know it, but I don't. I just Street View, Google. You live across the street from that brown house. I sound like a smart guy. I'm just not. I'm a smart guy for knowing how to look at pictures.
So that's how you're making that initial connection. Let's walk through that for people listening, what your initial script is or your approach when you first contact that expired. You said the phone is ringing, you're doing a quick search on the MLS, you're checking out the area, where it's located on a map, as well as looking at pictures. And then you start to go into that. So let's, do you mind role playing with me if I'm an expired? And we'll just kind of roll through what you do.
Absolutely. So
okay, let's do it.
Ring, ring.
Ring, ring. Hello.
Yes, hi. I'm calling about your home that was for sale. Is this the owner?
Yeah. This the owner.
Okay. I noticed it came off the market, and I was just curious. When are you putting it back on the market?
I don't know. I've been getting a lot of calls today, but I didn't even know it came off the market.
Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of calls. Unfortunately, probably gonna get more today, tomorrow, and the day after. And I'm sure you don't want that to keep going, right?
Yeah, my wife's getting a little annoyed, but I'm taking the calls.
Right. Hey, just looking at the pictures, it seems like a beautiful home. I'm very surprised it didn't sell. Are you surprised it didn't sell?
I am shocked that it didn't sell. Yeah, our neighbors have been selling their homes, and my friends. I don't know why this thing didn't sell.
And now you got all these realtors calling you all of a sudden, right?
Yeah, all of a sudden they're interested. I don't know what's going on there.
Like, where were they when it was on the market, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. No, I get where you come from, Mike. See, I specialize in properties that come off the market just like yours. And I can definitely help you stop all those calls from continuing to happen, which I'm sure you want to have. You want to stop those, right?
Yeah, that's getting annoying. Yeah.
Right. No, I can definitely help you stop. So I'm just curious, Mike, what do you think stopped your home from selling?
My wife and I have been talking about it, and I just think the agent didn't get it out there. They didn't market it good enough.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty common, Mike, in our industry, that, most realtors, they'll put it on the market and they'll put on the, multiple listing service, take a few pictures, hope that it sells. And I'm not one of those guys. And that's why I'd like to come by, take a look at your home, tell you realistically, Mike, why it didn't sell, what I can do differently. And from there, you can decide, Al, Mike, either A, you're going to like what I have to say, and it's going to make sense to you and your wife. Or B, you may not like what I have to say, and it's not going to make sense to you and your wife. Or C, I may feel, you know what, Mike, I agree with you. You should stay off the market. You shouldn't even move. You shouldn't even sell. And you know what? We'll reconnect another time. Any one of those three is fair. So does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah.
So would you're going to be around 3 or 4 o'clock, or would 5 be better?
My wife gets back at 4:30.
Okay. Would 5 be better?
Yeah, 5 will work.
Okay. Now, Mike, you're going to get a lot of these agents keep calling you. And if you want to stop, just a little trick to the business, just tell them it's already been handled, or you can already been handled, delete me off your dialing system, because realtors are all on dialing system, which you didn't know that, Mike, right?
No, I didn't know that.
So we're on dialing system. So if you just tell them it's already been handled, taken care of, delete me off your dialer, or you can even tell them you got the wrong number, delete me off your dialer. That's up to you. But otherwise, if anyone, we will see you later on today at 5. And I'm excited to meet you, Mike.
I look forward to meeting you, Al.
Now, they're not that easy, Mike, okay?
What are the common objections that you hear?
Oh, you're the 20th agent. Oh, we're not interested in selling anymore. I've had it off the market for 5 months. Why is everybody calling me now? And I don't think you can sell it. Where were you when it was on the market? How come you never showed it? Do you have a buyer, Mike? These kind of questions. If it was on the market, it didn't sell. What can you do different? You guys are all saying the same thing. Everybody's number one.
So let's walk through a couple of those objections, how you would handle them. Let's start with the one that you said, hey, well, why didn't you bring a buyer when the home was on the market, Al?
Oh, Mike, that's a great question. See, the difference between me and your last agent that didn't sell it, that didn't sell it. You remember that? Okay. Is I call all the realtors in the area and I tell them about my properties. I hunt for buyers and hunt for realtors for my listings because my sellers hire me to work for them. So if I'm going to get hired, I might as well work. Your last agent didn't do that. And I never got one call about your property because your property, Mike, could have and would have and did get lost in the shuffle. So it just became another property on the market, a needle in a haystack. That's not me. You know, I look for the haystack for that needle. Okay. And that's what I do. So do you want somebody that's a fisherman, you know, Mike, putting out the bait and waiting for somebody to bite on it? Or do you want a hunter that's going to go out and find that animal or scuba diver with the spear inside the ocean?
Yeah, I think I need a hunter.
That's what I am. You had a fisherman. If you like fishing, that's fine. But I think a guy with a rifle might find him quicker for you.
Right. Let's go through some other objections then. The other
And
one,
I give you the long version of it. Of course, it's usually not that long.
right? Usually, but that's the idea of the
You're
concept.
short and simple and go and pivot and go on to the next conversation, next question.
Sure. So how about they say, why are all these agents calling me? Well, you're just the 20th agent to call me. Why do I even want to talk to you?
No, I totally understand. Mike, did your last agent tell you you're going to get 20 agents calling you today?
No.
No.
No,
Did you
no.
know it was coming off the market today?
No, I didn't even know it was going off the market. In fact, I'm just getting all these calls. It's crazy. I feel like pulling the phone out of the wall.
Wow. Surprised you didn't get that call. You should have gotten that call. See, the reason why, Mike, I am different than everybody else, and the reason why I'm fortunate not to get properties that expire, I get properties that close. Why? Because I do things differently. If everybody did the same thing as me, or I did the same thing as them, we'd all have the same results. Did you know that, Mike, the average agent sells 5 to 10 homes a year nationwide?
No, I didn't know that.
I closed 130 homes by myself last year. Don't you think I'm doing something different than your agent was doing or the agents that are calling you are doing?
Yeah, you must be.
So there's a reason why I still have you on the phone and you're willing to listen. Is because I can show you something different than what you tried and who you're hearing from on the phone. I'm not just another guy smiling and dialing and just hoping one sticks. And I don't call everybody, Mike. I only call people I believe I can help. And you're one of them. So with no obligation, give me 10 or 15 minutes of your time. You can decide if you want to go back on the market or not go back on the market. And if it's me or if it's not me. Or I may say, you know what, Mike? You're 100% right. It's not the time to sell. Fair enough?
Sounds fair. So you like to give them those 3 options, right?
Mm-hmm.
So either go on the market, don't go on the market, go on with me, go on with someone else, or just keep it off the market.
Everything looks like it's just it's like a no obligation situation. Everything like, I'm not in your face. All these like fast talkers. And you notice I tone it down. I use a lot of tonality swings. I'm a professional drummer. I'm a musician, so I know about crescendos, loud, low, slow, fast. Match and mirror the tonality on the phone. If somebody's a slow talker, I'm a slow talker. If somebody's a fast talker, I'm a fast talker. If they have an accent, I have an accent. If you heard my recordings, you'll see there's no way this is them.
Because you're mirroring and matching whatever's coming through on the other side.
Remember, I'm a chameleon.
Right. Very good. Is it for people listening and they're thinking about pursuing expireds, is there any other advice that you could give them so they could be successful? I mean, last year, I think it was 35% of your business with about 46 closings just from expireds, even in a fast market. You are doing something right. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that people should know if they want to go after expired?
One story that I use on every presentation I teach in my classes or mentoring, my agents, the story of a Romanian lady in Sterling Heights. Her name is Maria. And Maria had all these expireds calling, all the people calling when her house expired at 319 or 309. I convinced her to meet. I listed for 299, got multiple offers, sold it in 2 days. I was like the hero. And I convinced her at 300,000 because it makes it available for all those people looking up to 300. That one expired, just to give you one of many, has in several years created about 20 to, actually right now I just listed now this expired that I'm talking about is from like 15 years ago. And I just listed her daughter's condo about 45 minutes away from here, and her daughter's buying a house too. This is like from that one expired from 15 years ago, has created about 21 transactions and about, about 10 million in production, or something like 10 or 15 million production over the years. If I added them right, remember, I'm not a numbers guy, but I kind of get the idea. And so I think it came out to like $300,000 or $400,000 worth of income for me from that one expired.
Wow.
There's people that don't want to call. I don't want to call expired. They hang up on me. They yell at me. They swear at me. I don't know what to say. Well, I don't know what to say. I mean, I didn't know what to say. I learned what to say.
Is Maria the one that you had to really work to mirror and match her tonality and her language?
Yeah, you'd like to hear how it went?
Yeah. I've heard the story before, and I want everybody else to hear the story.
Yeah, so cool. she was like, hello. I'm like, hello. She's like, who is this? I'm like, hi, Maria. She's like, yes, who is this? I'm like, this is Al. I'm real estate. I'm real estate. I'm Lebanese, so there's a foreign thing. Like, I'm real estate. I'm not saying I'm a realtor, real estate agent. I'm a real estate. The house, it's not sold. It's a beautiful home. Yeah, I live here, 30 years, and she's Romanian, and she goes, and the last real estate, he don't do good job. I don't want to sell no more. I take it off. Yeah. Okay, bye. I'm like, wait. She's like, what? I'm like, let me ask you, if we can sell the home and make something happen now, you said your house too big and your husband and everything, whatever the story is, and sell the home and get you to the condo, this not better? She's like, yeah, this is better, but it don't happen. I'm like, yeah, Maria, but it don't happen because the real estate is no do the job like you want. She's like, yeah, you're right. What's your name? I go, my name Al. I know, Maria. I'm Lebanese. I know it's hard. The people, they come, they go, get the house clean, dirty, shut the door, lock the door. Yeah, I make it scared, Okay, Maria, let me do this. Let me come by. Now I'm not asking all these final question, pre-qualifying. I'm just getting to the. I want to get in the door because I know what I'm dealing with here. I'm like, Maria, let me come by. I just want to see the house. No sign, no paper, no nothing. Just I want to see. Then you decide you like me or no like. She said, okay, but I know sign. I said, no, I know sign too. She goes, what do you mean, no, you know sign? I said, you don't want to sign? Maybe I don't want to sign. So you have to be happy for me to be happy. Do you? She goes, oh, okay, I get it. I came over and the rest is
nice. And when
I got there, I wasn't like, oh, hi, how are you? What you are doing? No. And then you kind of tone it down a little bit. You're not as, as aggressive with the mirror mimicking and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tone it down to a point where it's not so obvious.
Sure.
Naturally, we talk to our kids differently. We talk to old people differently, right? We talk to foreigners differently. We talk to Southerners differently, right? We naturally do it as humans. Why not do it with everybody and watch the results? Because when I learned mirror mimicking, it was like 10, 15 years ago. I was like, that is weird. When I learned it and perfected it, oh my God, I do it naturally. I don't even realize I'm doing
it. Right. Well, Al, let me switch gears real quick here and ask you about for sale by owners. You've had a lot of success with for sale by owners, FSBOs over the years. It's about half of what you did last year, I think. So maybe 19 closings, so about half as many as the expireds. Tell me your approach with a for sale by owner. That's a different animal than an expired. How do you approach a for sale by owner?
And again, with the numbers I gave you, I try to give you as much as I can try, but I don't know the exact numbers if they're 100% accurate, but I give you what I can think of, So the for sale by owners, a lot of people don't like to call them because they're scared of them. Right?
Right.
Somebody's saying, I want to sell. Call them. They want to sell. They're waving their hand, Why do people not call them? Because they don't know what to say. But if you ask somebody, do you know the birthday song and do you know the Christmas song? I bet you any money they know it. They know jingle bells, jingle bells. They know happy birthday to you. They can sing it blindfolded. Well, if you ask them, you know that song, but you don't know the script. Well, why don't you know the script? Well, because you didn't practice it. Practice, practice, practice. The professional athletes practice all week for a 1-hour game. They don't need to practice. They can just go to the game. They're professionals. Why do we feel we don't need to practice? Because we know it all. That's the mentality. So for sale by owners, there's different Mike Ferry scripts, Tom Ferry, Shaddy Bazzi, a good friend of mine from Dearborn, Michigan, who's a coach now in California. A lot of great, real estate mentors that teach you the script. So my script is, ring, ring.
Hello.
Yes, hi, I'm calling about the home that's for sale. Just curious, how much are you asking?
Yeah, we're asking 432.
Oh, wow. Okay. How many bedrooms is it? Can you describe it for me?
Yeah, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, and we got a 2-car garage, and we got a basement.
Wow. Sounds like a really, really nice house. How long has it been for sale?
We've had for sale for about, 40, 50 days.
Okay, cool. Okay, excellent. And have you guys already found a home or you need to find something?
No, we've got an idea where we want to go. We saw a new home construction, but we haven't done anything with that because we know we have to sell this first.
Right. So you don't want to be holding 2 mortgages, right?
Yeah, we can't afford that.
Okay. No, I totally understand where you're coming from. So just curious, how soon do you have to be moved?
We'd like to be moved probably in the next, I don't know, a couple months now, I guess.
Oh,
I don't know
wow.
how soon we have to get this thing sold so we can get into that property.
Yeah. So you obviously have to get moving soon, right?
Right.
Any offers on the table?
We had a couple low offers, but it didn't work out.
Okay. And by the way, my name is Al. I'm a realtor. What's the reason why you're going for a sale by owner as opposed to hiring, a professional realtor?
We don't want to pay a commission.
So what if you didn't pay a commission, but I did all the work?
That's it. Why would you do that?
Well, because I work for free until I get you a ready, willing, and able buyer and get you to a closing table. So I do A to Z for free, marketing, exposure, and everything. Don't charge you a dime, pre-screen everybody, but I only charge you only pay if you go to a closing. You don't get paid, I don't get paid. Fair enough?
Oh, yeah, but we don't want to pay a commission.
Okay. So what if I can show you a way to net more money than you can on your own, even with paying a commission? What would you have to lose?
I don't know. I guess if you could show us how that could happen, that'd be interesting.
Okay. So I just want to come by to take a look at your home, Mike. This is Mike, right?
Yeah, this might. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me take a look at your home. Let me tell you realistically what I can do or what I can't do. And then from there, Mike, you can decide, hey, I like this guy. He's the right guy for us. Let's do it. Or B, let's stay by owner. I don't want to pay. I don't want to do, I can do it on my own. I know more than he knows. Okay. Or C, you know what? I may feel, Mike, you need to stay by owner. There's no realtor can sell your house. And then we can go from there. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Okay. Another direction I can say, do you want the front row of a football stadium to know about your house, or do you want the whole stadium and the jumbotron to know about your house?
That's a good
Well,
visual.
no, I want
like
the front row only. We need one buyer, right, Mike?
True.
So if I can find that one buyer to all those fans that's going to give us some best offer, the best credit, the best income, the best everything. Isn't that what you're looking for?
That's true. Yeah.
So I always answer with a question. Giving you an answer with a question. the business we're in is a tennis match. It's not a fire hose or batting cage. A lot of realtors, they fire hose and batting cage the conversation. The business is a tennis match.
That's a good analogy. Very nice. Very nice. Well, this has been a lot of fun, Al. And I got a couple final questions that we're going to start wrapping this up. My question for you is this: if you were going to advise a brand new agent who's just getting in the business, what would you tell them to do first?
Learn your scripts, objection handlers, dialogue, and know that the first year is college. So like going to college to be a doctor, you go for 12 years. Do you get paid for those 12 years? No. So learn to earn before you burn. So your first year should be nothing but learning. Go to as many classes, YouTube things, go to as many phone calls, classes, wherever it is training you got in your brokerage, go and attend. Don't look at it as a moneymaker. Look at it as my first year should be learning. Because there's no business in the world that you can just make money right away. Unless it's some kind of weird business that we don't know about.
So get yourself educated as quickly as you can and learn your scripts.
Join a coaching program. That'd be a really good idea. Join a team if you can. Become a part of a team is better than being on your own. You're going to learn a lot more on a team than you are as a solo agent. You're going to learn how to crawl and walk so fast on your own, and you're going to keep falling. When you join a team, you can have somebody hold your hand better. I would highly recommend that. Join a team is better because that's what I did. I was fortunate to have my brother in the coaching programs he was in to get me to where I got to today, and we both helped and learned from each other. He was a book guy, very smart, 4.0, University of Michigan book smart guy. I was a street guy. So the book and the street got together, and that's what happened.
And it worked. That is fantastic. Well, I've come to the end of my questions for today. Al, do you have any parting thoughts for the listeners?
I would just say, watch this video like 100 more times and take some notes. And just know that I have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 hands, and 2 feet. I'm no different than you. You're no different than me. What separates me from you is the will to do it. I work for Nike Real Estate. It's EXP Realty, but I have this mindset of Nike Real Estate. I just do it. Well, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try that. Trying is lying, is failing with honor. So don't try. Just do it. This is what he does. This is how he does it. Okay, let's do the same thing. Duplicate it. Duplicate what successful are doing, and you could do it too. They didn't become who they are, whether it be you, me, or whoever it is, from something we are different.
Al, take care. Thank you for talking with us today.
No problem. I appreciate you having me on your show, and it's been a pleasure being on here.
Thank you, Al. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for joining us on Success Calls.
Thank you.
Moving forward. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you like the show and want to know when the next one's coming out, click the subscribe button. And if you want to hear more episodes like this, give the show a 5-star review and write a quick comment. I read them all, and it motivates me to keep going and share the top agent success stories with you. Thanks. If you're looking for more ways to generate leads, check out our sponsor, Realty TV, Real Estate Agent Lead Generation Television, and their giant database library of video trainings where top agents reveal, demonstrate, and discuss their best lead generation methods. Visit RealGTV, REALG.TV. If you're low on funds or just want to get the maximum leverage, check out my masterclass webinar titled Top 5 Free Lead Sources for Real Estate Agents. Learn more at freeleadtime.com. That's freeleadtime.com. Oh, and if you have a real estate friend who needs some inspiration, tell them about the Success Calls podcast. And don't you forget to subscribe right now to hear all the great top agent ideas. Keep moving forward.
You've been listening to Success Calls on the Mastermind Agent Network, where top real estate agents from across North America reveal their success secrets, strategies, and systems in up-close and personal interviews. You can find all the calls at www.mastermindagent.com.